Hey everybody, welcome back to The Wise Entrepreneur. And today's video, I am going to speak about the importance of taking breaks on social media. Now this can go for Facebook, Instagram, Tinder, and even WhatsApp, your group chats, just anywhere where you're getting a lot of outside information from the collective consciousness. Now, for me, this is something that I practice quite often. I'm actually on a social media fast right at this moment. It's been a couple of weeks, and this is for my personal Instagram account. I had to just disconnect and get away from just the collective consciousness and really focus in and get these downloads and be able to really just produce more work that is creative and coming in from me. Now, I want to talk about why it is important that you do this, especially as entrepreneurs and people who want to progress in their life. Now, on social media, it is so easy to get distracted, and distraction is your enemy when you are moving towards a goal. You cannot let what others are doing stop you or have you taking pit stops or just really having you focus on things that aren't really important to your defined purpose, your definite purpose. And I don't believe that you're really missing anything when you get away from Instagram or Tinder or Facebook. I feel like that's the main reason why people stay online, is because they feel as though they're missing something. They're not going to get this information as quickly as the next person. But you seem to realize that most of this information isn't useful to you. It's not useful to your real life. You have to really prioritize what information you are letting into your psyche. Now, I will use Instagram because that is the social media network that I really only use. And I would just find myself, going through people's stories, looking at my timeline, going through the explore page, answering DMs, sending DMs, just really all of this virtual reality things. And this is for my personal account. I'm not speaking about a business account where you're making money and you're doing something with a purpose towards your purpose. That is a completely different conversation. But I'm talking about the personal accounts that we have, where we're putting in a lot of energy to essentially impress people that really don't care. And I think that's a big misconception with these social media things, is that people think that everybody cares about what they're doing. But in reality, we only care about ourselves. It's very selfish. And when we do look at other people, we are only comparing ourselves to these people. When you see somebody who is very fit, and maybe you may not be very fit, you're going to just look at that photo and compare yourself, get down on yourself. Maybe sometimes that can motivate you, but again, it's just really putting on the emphasis of this is not where you're at right now. Now, that's great if you're the type of person that can take in that information and build on it and create something good for yourself. But if you are the type of person that gets influenced and then you become depressed and then you're insecure and all these things, it's a really deep rabbit hole that you can go down when dealing with social media. So you just want to be really mindful. So my trick for not getting bombarded with information and having my mind cluttered with external situations, I always take a break. Now, these breaks, some of them have lasted years, some of them just some weeks, some months. I really never put a timeline to it. I go intuitively and disconnect, and I will intuitively come back online. And it's just really something that I do to protect my energy. I am an empath, so I do take in energy fairly easily. I connect, and because I am aware and conscious and really tuned in, I even pick up subconscious messages and coding that are on the timelines and the things that people are sharing that they may not even notice that they're sharing. And I just consistently take in this information with synchronicities and just a lot of external information. So I have to be very mindful on what I'm feeding my consciousness and how I'm receiving things. So I am very, very protective of my mind space and how I'm producing and being creative in my work. Now, this time that I've taken away from social media, I've been able to become obviously 10 times more productive, 10 times more creative. I've been able to really just push out even more information, especially on this YouTube channel, because I am setting some real time, some real priorities to do the things that I am inspired to do. Now, that is another thing that I want to touch on with social media, because yes, we can become inspired by other people and we can build great lives through this inspiration. But you have to learn how to listen to the voice inside of your own head and become inspired by yourself, by your intuition, and act on it. If you're so externally influenced, you really don't get to hear your true self. You don't allow yourself to speak up and say exactly what you mean because you're worried about how this person's going to react or what other people are going to think when they see this. I know in some cases, now this is extreme, I've met people that had to send their photo to about 5 people before even posting online, and everybody had to agree that this was the photo to post. Now, this is okay if you're sharing a business and these are your business partners and you need, their consent or whatever it may be, but on personal accounts, it's getting that deep. That's when you have to take a step back. We cannot allow external situations dictate the way that we decide to live our lives. You are here to live your life, experience yourself, get to know yourself. If you know this channel, you know I am a high supporter of self-love, self-discovery, self-care, self-healing. So if you are one of these people who need all this external validation, you're not really practicing self-love. And I know a lot of people are online saying, love yourself, give yourself all of this stuff, but behind the scenes can't even get out of bed. And we don't want to be these people. We want to be the person who's living. And this is a great example. I come across a lot of successful people, and what I've noticed with them is that they might not even have a social media, or they just have one for their family and friends and they barely post on it. They're never really going to watch your stories. They're not going through the timelines. Maybe if they're about between flights, they're going to go check on social media. But they're so busy with their real lives, they're not concerned with what's going on online. And guess what? They're not missing anything. They're living life. Instead of having a beautiful plate of food and then going to rush and take a photo of it, they're enjoying it. They're eating it. Instead of trying to get the perfect angle, they're living in the perfect angle. This is the consciousness that we all need to embody. And I know this is not the popular opinion. This is not what everybody else is doing. But that's what makes it more important. That's what makes you more creative, more productive, more successful, because you are living your life to what you know is right for you and not being so influenced by everybody else. And yes, we get inspired. Yes, we are influenced. But it's good to have good judgment. And your judgment gets skewed because you are constantly being fed an idea. Social media is a machine. There's an algorithm to it. So if you see one type of provocative photo and you look at it long enough, it's going to give you 10 more provocative photos to go look at, and now you're influenced by this. And now maybe if you're a woman and you see other women posting provocative photos and you're seeing the engagement this woman is having, you may want to go and try to recreate the same thing and compromising yourself at the same time. And this is a big no-no. And I'm not saying this because you don't want to be provocative. I believe that everybody should be doing exactly what they want to do. But I do think that a lot of the time we're doing things just for clout. I know Cardi B and Offset has a song doing and everything for clout, or whatever the title of it is. And I feel like everybody on social media is doing it for clout. You're trying to make people think this is how you are, or you're giving off an image of this and all of that, which is great if you're pushing a brand, if you're doing something that's going to make you some type of money, some currency, some recognition, some branding. But if you're doing it just so people can say, hey, she's cool, hey, she has money, hey, she's sexy, then really, what are you gaining? And we're not, well, I'm definitely not, but I hope you guys are not in the business of getting false clout. I mean, we can take even to Drake's line. This is fame, not clout. I don't even know what that's about. Watch your mouth. And I love that line, because when you look at famous people, they are so involved in themselves and building up themselves that they become famous just for being who they are, unapologetically. You guys know me in this English, very interesting relationship. And if you're in fame, you don't need clout, because your fame will speak for you. But with clout, you're actually working to get people to look at you. You're an attention seeker. You're being extra. And yeah, there's a time and a place for that for children. But as we get older, as we become entrepreneurs, that's not what we want to promote. That's not who we want to be. We want to be exactly who we are, not who the world thinks we should be. And that's the beauty of taking time to disconnect, because now you're opening up the floodgates to receive your own information, receive the downloads from the divine, the creator, the source, whatever you want to call it, and really get to know yourself, your higher self, and even your lower self, and merging the two and finding balance. And I also want to bring up music, because I know people who listen to music from the moment they wake up till the moment they go to sleep. And this can be very harmful, especially with pop culture right now and the way the music is. We all know and seen the reports and the scientific proof of the music right now not being the most healthy music you can listen to. Music creeps into your mind and even through the subconscious, so you're affected by the music whether you know it or not. And this music has coding in it. This music has things that are really speaking to your subconscious that, if you're not aware, can become very harmful for you. So you never want to be one of those people who can't live without music, who can't be in a car in complete silence and be engulfed in their own thought. That is where you really receive the ideas, the creativity, that $1 million idea, or whatever it is that you need to push you forward in life. Your consciousness, your higher self is always there speaking to you. But if you have 20 other things from outside of yourself speaking, could you even really hear it? And that's the thing, you can't, because this is not a loud voice. Your higher self, your subconscious creator source is not a high voice. It's actually pretty low. It's actually pretty quiet. It's actually hard to hear. So you have to make an effort to hear it, to recognize the voice so it can become louder to you. And that is why it's important to take the time off and really get to know yourself, dig deep, and disconnect. And that goes for a music fast, food fast, movie fast, entertainment fast, just anything that you're doing excessively. Always remember to take some time to step away. Now, this can last years, months, days, hours, however way you want to do it, as long as you're doing it. You never want to be the person who's never disconnected, who always needs to be fed information. This is an addiction. This is not healthy. You are constantly putting yourself in a receptive mode of outside influences that isn't necessarily for your greatest good. So please take that into account when you're deciding on when to take a break off of social media. And if you really came across this video, then maybe this is the sign for you to take a step back and sign off, disable, do whatever you need to do to get away from the collective consciousness and really see what your own consciousness has to tell you, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be more beneficial to your personal life, and it's going to be towards your goals, towards the things you need to work on, towards the things that you actually came here to do. And that is the most important thing to do in life, because that is the only reason why we are here. So engage with yourself. Find out what you want, who you are, so then you can start producing in the world better things, more things that complement you and complement the mission that you're on. So, and even with group text, because I said this before, I am the worst group texter. Anytime I'm added into a group text, it's for no reason. I never read it, respond to it. I'm not one of those people who cares enough to jump into a conversation filled with people. I'm on the spectrum from extrovert to introvert. I definitely have my extrovert times, but I am closer to introvert. I enjoy my solitude, my quiet time, the time that I take to meditate, to work alone, to paint, to do all these solo actions. And I really enjoy those times. And I don't really need people interacting with me to have a good time. So I don't really do well with, group text and all this group thing type of thing. I'm more of a one-on-one type of person, in your face. And even for the phone, I can ring you, but it's not going to be an everyday situation, because I am very mindful of my energy. As I said before, because I'm empathic, I can pick up on energy, and so I have to protect myself and make sure that I have boundaries up and that I'm able to use my energy for the things I actually want in life and not give it away so freely just to, a mundane conversation. And I noticed that, like I said, the most successful people are never the ones who are obsessed with their social media, unless this is their business and this is something that they're promoting and they're doing. But again, that is with a goal, that is with a cause. And these people are not texting you all day. They're not, calling you and staying on the phone with you for hours. They're very busy and really in their own lives. So you just want to take that into account, especially if you are looking to be successful yourself. You want to really check yourself and see, am I really distracting myself? Because that's what social media is. Am I really distracting myself with all of this other external information that I don't need, just so I don't get the work that I really need to get done? So really, that's a really good question within. And again, if you came up on this video, it might be a sign for you to kind of disconnect and go within. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, as I think that it was the most helpful thing that I could ever do, especially being that I grew up in a time where it wasn't always the norm. I had best of both worlds, so I can live without it. It's not like it's the hardest thing in the world for me. And I just think that there's a beauty in disconnecting. It's a beauty in, not always being available to everybody. It's good to take a step back, have people miss you, go work in silence. I don't believe in, publicizing all your steps and showing people everything that you're doing. Let people be surprised. Don't overshare and have everybody in your business. It's just best when, you come back when the work is done and you present what you need to present, and you go away and you work when you need to work, and you come out and do what you need to do. So really take that into consideration. So if you like this video and will enjoy more videos like this, where I'm giving little tips that can really transform your life in a big way, please give me a thumbs up so I know how much I should post like this. And also, if you're currently on one of these social media fasts or music fasts or entertainment fasts, leave a comment down below. Let us know, how you did it, how you feel about it. And if you have a friend that may need to disconnect and you know that they are one of these extreme cases where they just cannot put their phone down, maybe send them this video so they can find some, balance in their life and maybe implement these new ideas of disconnecting to their life. And if you're really feeling the vibe of this video, please subscribe. I would love to have you really connecting with us here. It is an intimate group, and I think that the information that we do get from the collective consciousness that I share on here is something that maybe is a message that all of us need to hear, and the fact that we're here connecting together just shows more and more that we're in the same path and on this high vibration of trying to improve ourselves. Well, not trying, but improving ourselves and getting ourselves to where we want to go and achieving our goals. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.